What's going on, people? Back again for another video. In today's video, we're talking all things Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. We are just under a week away from the biggest fight of the year. What should be, yes, I say the biggest fight of the year. Undisputed heavyweight championships. Who is going to win? Let's talk about it. I've been going back and forth about this for not too long, actually, to be fair. I've always kind of been 50-50. Then I started leaning towards Usyk. I stayed towards Usyk for a long time. I'm back to that 50-50 again. I'll tell you why. It's got nothing to do really with Fury's new shape. I think a lot of people, including myself a little bit as well, we let the Ngannou performance kind of get carried away with us a little bit. It was like, yeah, like Fury's done now. But to be fair, performances before that, against Chisora and against Dillian Whyte, he didn't look that different from Ngannou. He didn't look that different in terms of how he was actually boxing. He's had more success because he could rough them up in the clinch and when he got on the inside, and he had better feet than them, so he could move himself in that range a lot better. But Ngannou was obviously a little bit more of a challenge than he thought. So I will still put some stock in that performance because I still feel like that it's the combination of Chisora, Ngannou, and Dillian Whyte. Those three performances to kind of judge where Tyson Fury is now. Now we know that Tyson Fury is a little bit lighter, or he's lighter looking, you'll say. In order for Tyson Fury to win, let's get into his kind of keys to victory. I believe he needs to firstly keep that weight off. There's loads of conspiracies surrounding why the fight got delayed in February for the cut, which I do believe was a genuine cut. But, and this is a big but, and some people might come for me for this, but I don't care. Fury needed that time. Obviously, after the Ngannou fight and performance, he was not ready. John Fury himself, while Fury was in camp, was saying he's not ready. And then a couple months later, week before the fight, he gets cut. Don't you find that suspicious? Now, I'm not saying he cut himself on purpose or anything like that. I believe he probably got cut in sparring because he wasn't ready and he wasn't looking good and he wasn't defending himself properly. And I personally think he was trying to keep himself, or to keep the fight going, and it got close to the fight and the cut weren't healing, put the headgear on, little grainy sparring footage. Oh no, it happened with the elbow. Yeah, whatever, innit? Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. But like I said, I don't believe that he did it himself or it was fake or anything like that. I just feel he was not ready, and when he got cut in sparring, that was kind of for me, a proof of not being ready. That doesn't happen very often in the heavyweight division. You should be sparring with 18-ounce gloves at that level, and definitely with headgear. So either you're being a bit lax in camp with no headgear, you're not wearing 18-ounce gloves, or you're just not defensively responsible to get cut on your eyebrow. It was very suspicious, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think he wasn't ready, and now he had the extra time. Maybe it wasn't just boxing, maybe it was fitness level to get him a bit more prepared, and now he's looking a little bit leaner, a little bit sharper. That's his first key to victory. He needs to be on his fitness. Usyk is a constant moving target, which will tire your body and tire your mind, trying to follow him, trying to fight him, trying to move with him. He's got much better footwork than Fury at the best of times. So if he's heavier, it's going to be absolutely impossible in my eyes to catch him. Not impossible, but very improbable. So first off, the weight needs to be off. Now, in terms of his game plan, Fury needs to keep it long for the first round or so. I think he needs to establish his jab and keep Usyk at the end of his jab. Once he starts to understand Usyk's range and maybe start to kind of get his rhythm a little bit, then Fury should try and close the distance and, of course, impose his size. When he gets Usyk maybe closer to the ropes, start to put the pressure on, lean on him a little bit. Now, if we see that Steve Cunningham fight with Tyson Fury, you'll see that Fury wasn't fighting a great fight for the first few rounds. Obviously, he got dropped by Steve Cunningham, but he was fighting with a low guard, that low lead hand that he favors, nice low lead hand, which works for most people. When someone's smaller than you and faster than you and punches are coming from down to up, it might seem like it's easier, but sometimes it ain't, because you can't get out of the way of it. I say that as a taller person myself. But when he started to adapt, after he got dropped, he started to have a nice high guard and his hands was tight to his ears when Steve Cunningham was trying to throw that overhand right. So I believe that when he starts to get a bit closer, after he's established that range and established that jab, he needs to get those hands up and not necessarily go back to basics of boxing, because obviously Tyson Fury's got his own style, but try to implement that a little bit And we'll see the Steve Coleman fight. He did have to fight a little bit dirty to get that knockout. And I feel that's what's going to have to happen with Usyk. It's a little bit of the tricks of the trade. He has to light Usyk's body up close. Tyson Fury has a very good uppercut to the body, or like just a sneaky little uppercut to the body. I know he does a lot of body sparring with Tommy Fury and a few other people in camp. And that actually could come in handy as a tall person, because a lot of people, I think a lot of boxers don't do enough body sparring to establish how to throw different types of punches to the body. So I think that's going to be a big key to victory. We know Usyk has a weakness to the body, and I know a lot of people or his managers will try and bend it, but it is there, and it is. And I am a fan of Usyk, so it's not a hating thing, but it is something we have to think about. Alexander Usyk's keys to victory. So with this one, we look at the Daniel Dubois fight, we look at the AJ fight, fighting the bigger man in terms of AJ, in terms of the size level. Dubois was not that different from him in terms of height. He was obviously a lot faster. And so Dubois is not faster than AJ, but the way that AJ was fighting Usyk, it meant that Dubois looked even faster, because AJ was not fighting him with full speed and full intensity and explosive power that he has, his natural attribute. Whereas Dubois was trying to rely on that, was relying on those quick twitch muscles to throw out that fast jab and throw that fast hands to the body and powerful hands to the body. Now, Usyk neutralized Dubois almost immediately with the element of surprise. Usyk was very aggressive from the get-go. He stood and traded a lot more than he usually does, especially at heavyweight. Now, I think a big part of that was because of the rain. So the canvas was a lot more slippery. I think it was the second or third round. You might see his foot slip a little bit, or you hear it a little bit, and then you see Usyk start to hold his feet and stay in the pocket a bit more and trade and throw combos and hurt Dubois with a few shots as well. And I think that threw Dubois off. I don't think he thought it would happen. I think he thought he's going to have to chase him out around the ring, keep hurting his body and tire him out. And he didn't realize that, no, this movement's in your face all night long, and he's also pushing you back. That was a very good game plan from Usyk's team. Now, I don't believe he can do that or should do that with Fury. I believe he can do it, but I don't believe he should do that. I think he's going to surprise us that he will do it at some points. I don't think he's going to be on the back foot the whole time, and I hope he isn't. I do hope he takes it to Fury. As the smaller man, obviously, he's hard to catch and hard to find, and he fights very well off the back foot. But he's actually a very good pressure fighter, very constant movement and changing of angles being the key. Now with Fury's footwork was very good when he was a lot lighter and back in the day. It hasn't been very good in his past 4 fights. And there we'll include Wilder 3 on that one as well, why not? So if Fury has any footwork left, for me, it will be, this is the time to see it. We'll say the first 2 or 3 rounds. If we don't see it in those first 2 or 3 rounds, Fury's legs are indeed gone. Or he's gone to the game plan, just let's suffocate him. He's just going to go and try and bulldoze him, but I don't think that's a good plan. Usyk will be using those angles. Now, that's something that Tyson Fury has done in the past, but he's not a master at like Usyk is. He will be using those angles. He will be using that in and out. Look for Usyk to go to the body quite a lot. Not to go for big power punches to the body, but a lot of punches to the body to try and set him up to go to the head. Look for Usyk to stand his ground and try and prove that he is the heavyweight and he can stand and trade. Not trade, but he can stand with Fury. You'll be surprised at, I think, what Usyk can handle. Now, I'm not going to go into full predictions just yet, but I don't see Fury beating Usyk on points. I wouldn't say it's impossible at all. I would say I'll give it like a 35 to 40% chance of Fury beating Usyk on points. I don't see Usyk knocking out Fury at all. If it happens, that would be a bloody miracle, but I don't see him knocking him out. The possibility of Fury going down as well, like I don't feel like Usyk has that type of power. When he stopped Daniel Dubois, that was more of Daniel Dubois giving up. And I know people will have their say, but he said he got disheartened, and that's what happened. It wasn't that he got hurt and he couldn't continue at all. So I don't believe that Usyk has the power to really like damage Fury. But the amount that Fury has been down, it wouldn't surprise me if it did knock him down. But just keeping him down is another thing. I do see Usyk as winning on points. I don't think he can knock him out. And I see Fury winning by stoppage. And I think that's his only way winning. I don't think he can outpoint him. could be possible, but I wouldn't rate the chances. It's a very interesting fight. My final prediction, I'm going to say Usyk on points, but I'm not super convinced. I'm going to say 50-50, and bear in mind, I'm going to be open and honest, I'm not a fan of Tyson Fury, but we have to still respect his skills in the ring and what he can do. He's still a big, heavy guy, and it is definitely an uphill task for Usyk. If Usyk wins this fight, he is in the greatest of all time conversations. Just in terms of the size disparities. Now, obviously, we've got Evander Holyfield, and I consider Usyk the best cruiserweight. But Evander Holyfield is obviously another one who's on the top tier list of cruiserweight goats moving up to heavyweight. But the reason that Usyk's is more impressive is because the size disparity of the heavyweights then and the heavyweights now is completely different. Like back then, Usyk at cruiserweight would have been a heavyweight. Not necessarily his weight, but in terms of his height, So to have Anthony Joshua at 6'6" and 250 pounds of solid muscle, and then Tyson Fury at 6'7", not 6'9", it's a lie, but 6'7" and 270 pounds, maybe 260 pounds, and Usyk from fighting at, what is the cruiserweight limit, 100 kg, or what is it, 220 pounds or 200 pounds. For him to go from there to there, you have to give him a lot more props. Than I think people are giving him. Yes, and if Tyson Fury wins the fight, because I will say it's a 50-50, I still will kill it 50-50. If Tyson Fury wins the fight, he's the best current heavyweight. I wouldn't say the best of the generation yet, but he'll be the #1 heavyweight. He has to beat Anthony Joshua in order to be considered the best of the generation. And people, again, Fury fanboys, don't come and argue in the comments about having logic with it. Like, he will be #1 for sure, but there still are other heavyweights in generation that you have to clean out. I watched Hatman's video and he said it's a similar thing. If the past greats, if you want to be called a great or the best of the generation, the past greats have not just beat a couple of people or like one champion and a couple of others. They've wiped out and taken out all their threats to go establish himself and establish dominance and go, I am the best of this generation. And then you can be considered for an all-time great conversation. People very, very quick to rush to put Tyson Fury as all-time greats. People are trying to talk of him same breath as Muhammad Ali. How dare you? So yeah, let's use logic with these conversations. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win the fight? Bit of a long video today. Who do you think is going to win the fight? How do you think they're going to win the fight? What's the method? Oh, I wouldn't put any money on it. I'm not going to lie to you. Even though I'm not a gambling man. Like, share, comment your thoughts below. More videos coming soon, thick and fast. See you soon. Peace.